Alright, we're going to be watching Catheedras, who's playing Echo on King's Row. This is Silver 5 on console. I've been maining Echo in Bronze Silver for 4 years. I feel like I'm good enough to at least hit gold, but every 5 wins I end up in high bronze or low silver. We barely win this game, rare scenario where I'm doing a win. And I don't understand why. Almost every game I play with ends with us choking or barely scraping by, despite our stats being much higher and me playing Echo quote-unquote correctly, focusing supports and assassinating high-value targets. I've watched every guide. I'm desperate for any advice, as I've been in Bronze since Overwatch 1 came out. I used to main Widow, and with every rank, I get closer to just giving up. What am I doing wrong? I'm happy to provide any additional info or context in the comments. Please be as harsh as possible with criticism. Okay, so for starters, I would say that you sound like you're exactly where you should be, right? Every single update, you get the exact same rank, and your games are close, right? Every game is like, you barely win or you barely lose, which is excellent. That's no matter how good you get at this game, there's no magical level where you're gonna be like, oh, I dominate every game I'm ever in, right? Because if you win more games, you get harder and harder opponents until you get to the point where you're at the same skill level as them, and the games become even. So I think a lot of people would love to be in your situation where every single time you jump in a game, it's gonna be very, very close, right? That demonstrates that the matchmaker has calibrated you very, very precisely. You're exactly where you belong right now. And if you want to climb from this spot, which for the record won't make the games any easier, right? Like they'll be easy temporarily until you get to the next level, at which point you'll get stuck again until you learn how to get better again. If you want to get better, then you need to figure out like what are the areas that you're weak at. I'm not going to do a full review. This is going to be a fast one, and we're just going to go through just some of your mechanics and some of the reasons why you're losing. I'm definitely not going to go through this whole game by any means. So for starters, I did pre-watch of a good chunk of this game. You make the same mistakes that pretty much everybody in Silver Bronze does, which is you just die all the time for silly reasons, unnecessarily, like in crazy ways. So let's watch this play out. So for starters, your aim is also a huge issue, okay? There is currently a turret, which I think you're aiming at the turret, and you miss the turret with virtually every single sticky, which is not good. And I don't coach aim, right? Coaching aim is an incredibly complicated, difficult thing. I'm not going to try to coach aim, especially on console. I'm just noting that your aim is going to be an issue, and we're going to see this problem over and over again. And people are going to say, oh, well, console players aim worse than PC players, which is correct. I'm telling you, I've reviewed a lot of console players, like 100 plus at this point, and I can tell you, there are much better console aimers than you, right? And if you get into higher ranks, you're going to need to figure out how to aim better on the console of your choice. Anyway, you're going to come through. You're coming in pretty hard right now, you're going in the choke. So the general thing with Echo is that you fly up, right, and then you're going to sticky, and then you're attacked, and maybe you can get assassination, otherwise you reset, right? That's the general flow of Echo. So we're going to see you go up, you go for the stickies, which I think is the right general idea here, but you have 2 problems. Number 1, these stickies aren't even close to hitting anybody, right? Like, if you have trouble hitting the backline, just hit the tank. It's okay to just blow up the tank. If you just force Nemesis early, that's good value, right? Especially when you're damage boosted, you might just straight up kill the Ramatra before he realizes what's happening. So missing 100% of your stickies, unacceptable as a start, right? Number 1. Number 2 is they have a damage boosted Ashe who can kill you in 2 shots. So you don't seem to respect that at all, and I think that's a very common trend with your gameplay, is that you never expect the enemy to hit shots. You seem like legitimately surprised, like Pikachu face surprised, that you get hit sometimes. And I think it's because everyone at this level is actually really bad at aiming. But if I was the opposing Ashe, and I'm not even that good at Ashe, I would have killed you long ago by now. Like very, very quickly, very, very easily. And at this level, that's not going to be a problem, but over time, that is going to be an issue. So for example, you should have flown up here, played tight to the corner, stuck the Ramatra, right? Attacked, just landed here, and then beamed him down, for example, as how you could have gotten value without exposing yourself to the Echo the whole time. So you start beaming the Ramatra, you could have done an enormous amount of damage here. 175 damage a second for, 3 seconds is 525, right? Something like that. 525 damage, you could have killed this Ramatra. Even post-Nemesis form, you could have killed this Ramatra. I don't know if he actually is below 50%, though. He's close. He is below 50%. Yeah, you could have just straight up killed this Ramatra with better tracking. But you missed probably 80% of that beam. Okay, so again, with just better aim, you would have killed him by now. You hit him with the stickies, he's still low. You run in a straight line at the enemy while everyone's spamming at you, which usually will result in death. Right? You shouldn't be doing that as a DPS or support. That's what's called frontlining. So you should have just like gone to the side or gone to the edge of the statue, anything else that gives your tank time to kind of build up pressure. So now you're floating in the air and then you just die. And as I mentioned earlier, at higher levels, you will die so much faster than this. It is very easy for the Ashe to hit the shot. 1, 2, 3. See? Like, this will happen to you all the time playing Echo. And I don't think you understand even how to play differently to avoid this. Again, figure out where her angle is, play an angle where she cannot shoot you. Or, on other maps, ambush the Echo herself and kill her with stickies. But in this scenario, you're not going to be able to get close enough to kill her, right? Just focus on breathing on the tank is totally fine in this situation if you can't get access to the backline. Again, you flight straight up. The Ashe can just kill you right now. So for perspective, I'm going to tell you how fast the Ashe could kill you. Okay? This is how many shots the Ashe will hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that would have been 11 shots by now for the Ashe to have killed you if the Ashe was trying to kill you, which is what she should be doing right now. That is actually her job. From the moment that you came out of the doors, right? She's full health. There's no reason for her to go to the left in the statue right now, right? She should be shooting you. She should not be rotating. If I'm the Ashe, I would stay here. A higher level Ashe will just stay here and just shoot you down, right? She had 11 shots to hit you. She's shooting her turret. This is the level of players that you're playing with. She just shot her own friendly turret. Okay. Anyway, so like you see, like you're just floating in the air right now. You're the easiest target. Getting hit in the air is so easy. It's so easy. At higher ranks, hit scan heroes will absolutely murder you when this happens. But like you need to stop doing this thing where you just float above the battlefield as though nobody can hit you, right? If they have a hit scan hero, expect to get hit. So really, you should have stayed low. Just help your team kill a turret, right? Turret's gotta die first. Now, with the turret dead, the shield's going to go up. Do not shoot Ramacha's shield. It is 1,000 health, but it only lasts for 4 seconds. Just wait the shield down, right? You can also use flight right now and potentially get a big sticky on the back line, right? That's or the tank or anything that is not attacking the shield. Then you decide to aggress right now with no stickies, which is a very bad idea because without stickies, you're not a good hero. Stickies is a huge part of your kit. This Ashe easily wins this 1v1 against you. She's heavily favored right now. I would say she's probably 70 to 80% favored to win the 1v1 fight against you. Okay, you're standing on point as though your point pressure makes any difference. It does not. Now you're super low, floating around the back line. You should be dead any moment right now. You're extremely lucky that the Ashe misses that many shots, and then you die. So, for perspective, you have died 3 times in the first minute of the game. Good death stats, right, for pretty much all heroes is roughly around 5 deaths per 10 minutes, which is a death every 2 minutes. You have a death every... 3 deaths in a minute, which means you're on track for 15 deaths per 10 minutes. You are dying at 3 times the rate of where you should be at. Okay? Like, that is really important to emphasize. You're dying literally 3 times as often as you should be. And this isn't necessarily even true at, like, higher levels per se. It's because as you get better at surviving, the enemy gets better at killing you. So often your deaths per minute will stay about the same across all ranks, assuming you're playing reasonably well. Okay? But I'm just emphasizing, your deaths per minute are crazy high right now. And a big part of that is that you're so hyper aggressive at bad times into bad situations. Like, I don't think you read the situation at all. I'm not even sure you pay attention to what enemy heroes are. It feels like your strategy is, I will go in and I will dive here with or without stickies, with or without hit scan, with or without turrets, with or without healing, with or without me being pocketed. I'm diving, right? Like, none of this higher order level thinking seems to be happening with your play, which is why you're just not doing very much. Anyway, the Lucio is crazy overextended right now. You're going to whiff all of these stickies, which is real bad. Then you whiff this whole beam. By the way, you should have meleeed him first to get him below 50%. And then you whiff that complete beam. And now you're still targeting him. You're floating in the air. The turret's here. You do hit all the stickies here, which is great. So that's good aim right there. And then you're over here. Again, it's totally fine to just blow up the tank if you need to. Right, Torb's low. Great. You go in. You try to kill the Torb. Good. Pick off. Right, dangerous, but I mean, I understand that. It's fine. Right, you sticky the Ramacha, great. And so now you should be like, okay, just reset, right? Just reset right now. You're burning, you're like about 100 health, but you've already killed 2, or you killed 1 here, right? The Torb is dead, they only have 4 in point, your team is short spawn. All you gotta do is chill, right? Just chill, get health back, wait for this mini, get healed by your team. Like Mercy's trying to heal you right now, but she can't get you because you're through the building. And you're still aggressing right now despite having 95 health and being on fire. If anyone on this team looks at you for like a moment, you are dead right now. So you stick at the Ramacha. Again, the Ashe is just missing you nonstop. Somehow, she does not manage to kill you here, which is incredible. She whiffs 75% of her shots on you. So you pop ulti here. So what's interesting is I don't think an ulti is actually needed in this situation because your team should handedly have this fight. In a 5-on-4 situation with the Ramacha already being low, I would not pop ulti here. However, What's funny is that you're actually gonna pop ulti here, and your team is still gonna lose this fight. So I guess I don't really understand how this game works at this level, because this is truly insane to me that this could happen. So you don't really look like you know how to play Ramattra super well. You throw Vortex at the ground, which does literally nothing, instead of Vortexing the corner, which would have been super helpful, or even trying to Vortex into the Mercy, for example. You pop Nemesis right away instead of trying to use Staff, which I think is... Oh, no, I think I would try to use Staff first. Staff actually does more damage per second than punches do, by the way. I think a lot of people do not realize that. The punches are scarier. Their bark is worse than their bite, right? The Staff actually does a lot more damage than the punches do. So you're going to punch right here. You're punching the Ramattra, who is the worst possible person to be punching right now, instead of killing the Ashe, who is completely alone and not being pocketed. You can kill her in 3 punches in a melee. By the way, you can melee while you're in Ramattra as well, quick melee. So punching the Ramattra, who is not dying. You're going for the Lucio now, which is great, but now you go back to killing the Ramattra. Unfortunately, you really should be killing the backline. You still keep trying to pop the Ramattra. You pop Annihilation. Right, you go for Lucio, which is good, right? Go for the Mercy, which is good. Great, supports are dead. You should kill the Ashe, right? Remember the Ashe who's been here, who's been just shooting your team the whole time. I want to emphasize, it's not like you didn't know she was there, right? You were fighting her when this fight started. See? This Ashe is just going to run here, and let's just count how long she gets completely unimpeded ability to shoot people, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, look, she got Bob, because it turns out if you give people 20 seconds to shoot at your team, they farm a lot of ult charge. 20, 21, 22. Oh, look, you're finally attacking the Ashe. Right? Like, this is just basic awareness of, like, where the enemy heroes are. Like, leaving an Ashe in a corner like that will murder your team. You just can't leave her alone, and you could have killed her so quickly and easily once you were in Ramattra form. So, lots of mistakes here, and then Bob on point is too much for you to overcome. Even though you kill the Ashe, you end up dying here. So, that gives you just an idea, like, why do you have so many problems with dying, right? You're not paying attention to where you should be. You're not thinking about the opposing heroes. You're not thinking about sight lines. Your aim isn't very good. Your target priority is not very good. You don't have a great plan for, like, how to progress the fight, and you're impatient and you don't let your supports heal you, right? You take bad challenges, like everything across the board. And again, if this is a full review, I would go through the whole game and I would talk through all those different situations, but it's not, so this is the quick version. I will do on defense quickly, because I do think defense is its own interesting little beast. So gates are going to open. You should never be standing here when the gates open, because Widow could shoot you. Great. You kind of rotate down. So you're going to fly up here. This is super extended. Again, always play in your cover. This is not in your cover. If they suddenly come out with a hit scan, it takes you a really long time to get to cover, relatively speaking, right? You're probably 2 seconds away from cover. Now you're discorded, you need to play even closer to cover, because Discord will melt you. This is a great scenario where you just need to spam, right? Just spam, farm ulti, right? Hold choke. When you have flight here, go up, right? Quickly, try to one-shot somebody and go back down. Right? This sticky, bad value. Every sticky, get value. Every sticky, land them, right? Every sticky, get value. If don't go for hard stickies if you don't need to, right? Even going on the tank is totally fine, right? See, imagine if you had stickies right now, because you fly right now, you waste stickies right now, for no value. Now you get on this Ashe's flank. If you pop all stickies and attack her, she dies. Even with supports there, she's not going to live through this, right? Not with Zen, Lucio as their healers. Like, they just don't have enough healing. Then, right, you come over here, you reload, you use beam on a Ramattra who's full health, so this is 50 damage a second, which is worthless. Okay, then you reload, now you don't have beam, right? Now you're sticky coming up. You cross the line of sight of both of these heroes who easily could have killed you at this moment in time. Alright, then you fly up, right? Imagine if you had beam right now to kill this Ramattra in an instant. Imagine you had beam to kill this Symmetra. You're aiming at the only hero here who does not actually have less than 50% health. You're sitting on point. Zen's gonna walk in your face. And then you die. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same problems as we see in offense, right? I don't think you have a good feel for, like, what fight should I take? How should I be spending my time? How do I use my abilities? Can I aim, right? What are the line of sights? Like, where am I safe versus where I'm in danger? Like, this, reasonably safe. Here, super dangerous. And you're just going to cross in front of me and the Zen here. If I'm the Ashe, right? The Ashe and the Zen here, you're dead. You're, like, so dead right now. You're dead in literally less than a second and a half. No question. You never get a chance to do any of this stuff. And at this point, you're still making all the mistakes wrong, right? If at anything, you should have committed to try to kill the Sim here, right? To at least trade out and get a pick, and then focus on trying to kill everybody else. But instead, you try to beam Lucio, which does nothing, and then you die, and then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. I'm gonna stop there. Hopefully this is helpful to kind of instruct you as to like where the gaps are between you and the next level.